Scott, thank you very much for the introduction. Good buddy Brad, how's your audio?
You sound good to me. Am I coming through to you?
Absolutely. Let's get the party started. We're gonna have an amazing show for you guys today, but before we do, let's get down with the disclaimer just to make sure everybody knows Trade Ideas is not and has not and never will be a registered investment advisor. All the information that is going to be presented to you from all of the Trade Ideas staff, either at presentations or of course through our softwares, for educational and informational purposes only. Should you seek specific investment advice for yourself, please consult a registered investment advisor. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. So many of you have never heard of Trade Ideas, although we have been in the business here for 17 years. We are the leaders in the business of trade ideas. There's nobody like us in the market. And Brad, I say that very confidently, knowing who the competitors are. I'm not gonna jump into this slide because this is actually a generic slide that we use for lots of our presentations here, because we get a lot of people that don't really know what we're about. But the whole thing that we want you to think about is this. We're gonna show you the ideas. We're gonna help you take action. You're not gonna have to configure stuff, although you can. And there's this capability that you have within the software that is much like what you would find in Microsoft Excel or WordPerfect or Microsoft Word or Adobe Photoshop. For the people that want to
Perfect. How old are you?
I'm Brad, I'm very old.
Okay.
Very old. So the whole notion is you have this capability within the software to do things that you could probably not even imagine, but you don't need to, because our software is designed from the ground up by us to stream these ideas to you, okay? So this is a picture, and again, I'm staying on the slides just a little bit of the different kinds of data windows that you have in Trade Ideas that show you information. One here is the alert window, which is streaming like Twitter, but much faster. And it's looking at every single stock, looking at every single trade, and is notifying you of unusual behavior that we design internally to make it interesting to you. And again, this is just something that people don't have because we're the leaders in streaming tech. And we've been doing this since 2003. In 2018, we were voted by Inc. magazine on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing privately held companies in the United States as number 1,920. So there's a reason you're here, and we are, by the way, as Scott mentioned before, we are doing our first ever 10-day test drive, and this is the biggest test drive, Brad, we've ever had. And I think we've been doing them for maybe a little over a year. And this, so far, this one right here, it's the biggest one we've ever had. I'm going to show you why. Because we've really transformed this from not only idea generation, and you can see like all the symbols, you can be like, okay, well, here's a stock that's running up on strong volume, or here's another stock that's making lifetime highs, or stocks that are pulling back, that are giving you opportunities to get in. Lots of ways you can see this information, but we now have built in a fully functional simulated trading system inside that allows you to be your own educator, but gives you feedback. So in other words, the education for you to learn how to trade is built into the software. Let me minimize this presentation, I'll get back to it, and show you exactly what we're talking about here. But before we do, okay, I'm really gonna jump. First of all, I wanna make sure, again, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, it looks good.
Thank you, Brad. So the core of our technology that differentiates us from really everybody else, okay, is our ability to look at data and spot the interesting behavior. So how do we show you what that is? By, we can talk about it, of course, but we want to just demonstrate. We have this is part of our premium product, and it's our artificial intelligence trading system. In other words, this system is going to give you calls if you're a subscriber to it all throughout the day. And this is what these calls look like, okay? And here's the various profits that you could have made being in these calls. And the one that obviously I want to highlight, because this shows the strength of what reason that you're here, is this trade in CLDX. Number one, remember that although you may not know, every single trade that we show you has swing trading capabilities. We're way beyond day trading, okay? Day trading is fun. It's a good way to take advantage of certain moves. But the idea is that everything we put on has longer term potential. And so we show you our signals on the charts when we have them. So here in CLDX, there was a signal where there was a buy signal on October 24th, another buy signal on October 25th, one more buy signal, okay, on November 12th. And look at the difference between this one at 37, another one at 40, and look at today, okay? So what this means is simply the computer, through its analysis of data, has been able to figure out the pattern in this one. And when it figures out the pattern today, okay, you had a 4-point move in the stock. Here's your entry. And by the way, these aren't designed, no trade can be perfect. So it got you in, there was a little bit of a down move because the stock is very volatile, but nowhere near the stop, because notice everything gives you stops. So the whole game plan is laid out for you, and I'll get into that more. And here you go. 4 points later. This is what it's about. I mean, you can get all complicated, Brad. You can get all inside into the, the nitty gritty, but the bottom line is, this is what we do. We are the best at making the best calls because we use the most scientific approach to speculation, which is number crunching. We don't use just indicators. We don't use fundamentals. We use it all, but not in the way that you could do it at home, because we have this server farm that's sitting there right now and playing all the odds on all the stocks that have traded today and getting you ready for tomorrow, okay? Also notice the software doesn't only give you signals to buy. If you want to speculate on the downside, and Brad, look, here's a short at 23. Remember we talked about the swing trading potential. Here's a sell signal, okay? And here it is now.
Yeah, and that's the daily chart, by the way. So yeah, that was called
daily chart. You can see this is the day. Here's a sell signal at 24, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later, it's at 16. Again, this is what we are about. This is what we do. This is why you're here. So you can, this is the Omni AI view. In other words, this is viewing every channel. You can kind of dial it in more specifically into one channel or the other, depending on what it is that you want to see. And as you work with us, you'll see why one thing is one way and one thing is another. This channel right here, Neo, does more high volume kind of things, where the relative volume is very high, meaning these are the things you might hear about. And the other ones are more statistically inclined, where they do other things. But the point is, we're going to get you into the things that matter. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to show you real quick why this is a technology like no other. First of all, I'm going to go into our channels, and we have lots of different channels. Okay, so post-market action. So this is what's happening right now in the post-market. So these stocks right now, something's going on, and they are behaving however they're behaving, big gap up in the post-market, okay? So you can look at all of these, you can see what they're doing. Now let me show you, and again, Brad, I'm trying to remember, I don't know.
Pause right there, because I noticed as you were clicking through a couple of those, I was looking over at the single stock, and a little updated feature for the people that are already members of Trade Ideas, but if you notice that earnings date field right there, it stands out now. So it tells me very quickly based on that color, well, and the date, that it's had recent earnings, probably the catalyst for the move.
And you can see that in any stock. So if you typed in like Microsoft, you see that Microsoft reported on October 23rd post-market. If you typed in Apple, you will see they reported October 30th post-market. There's lots of cool stuff that you can do here, see insiders, and obviously look at the details and the profile of the company, all things like that. So let me, again, take one step back and show you something really cool. And this is, again, taking it to the next level and why you're going to want to be a subscriber when this open house is over. Okay. So I'm going to let Brad describe to you what's happening.
So I noticed that your cursor is outside of the Trade Ideas window. So what Dan's doing right now, he has what we call idea surfing engaged. It's on, and essentially what it's doing is looking at the different windows and it's cycling through them. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be clicking on these particular symbols. It's updating the chart, giving you a chance to look at it and see what's going on, ingest the information. And as soon as he brings the mouse over, does some action in it, it'll stop doing it and it'll start listening to what you want. But it's a great way to really see what's going on in the market without having to actually interact with the software.
The whole idea is that we're automating the smart things so that your eyes are doing the reps of chart pattern, because chart pattern recognition takes reps. So now, Brad, I'm going to show you what we've done is we've enabled a simulated trading environment for you, and it's very simple. You don't have to do a lot of configuring, although we'll show you how to do it. But I'm going to right click right here, and I'm going to say trade PSNL, and I will buy 1,000 at market. And now I'm going to show you maybe one of the coolest things ever. Okay, so did you notice that when I bought it, okay, do you see what happened right here? It automatically put in the stop for you at the low of the day. So this is one of the most critical things that you need to learn from any tool, any technology in the market. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to trade Oprah using $1,000. And when I do that, it instantly places a stop at the low. This is, notice I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to type it in. This is automation of the proper trading workflow, and you're not going to find this in other companies. This is in a simulated trading environment. I'm going to show you what it looks like in just 1 second, but the idea is that you can do it from anywhere. We have this channel called the Account Builder. Love this name, by the way. And the reason it's called the Account Builder, because we know that lots of people don't have lots of money in their account, and they're looking for these moves in stocks where they can allocate more shares to and potentially enjoy the bigger potential ride. Look at Plug Power, traded 18 million shares today. Once again, if I right click, and notice I can do this in any window, and put in $1,000 worth, instantly I know that my risk is controlled. I cannot express more, Brad, the importance of risk control. So today you probably, if you're participating, got an email from us where we talked about don't ever make this mistake. And I've said this before in our presentations on the Q&A webinars, but there are only 4 outcomes from an investment. There are large gains, small losses, large losses. Number 4 is the large loss. If you eliminate number 4, you win the game. Okay? Eliminate large losses, you win the game. We all want to win, right? Well, here's a step to eliminate large losses. You automatically create a situation where the stop is being placed for you. And you're learning that you didn't really have to do too much. Boom. See, this is where technology is doing the right thing. Brad, it's kind of like your Tesla auto driver that can see the radar, knows where the gas is. And the whole point here is you don't have to fumble around. Okay? Are there any questions so far?
Yeah, so Bullseye's asking about those defaults that you were using here, buying 1,000 shares and such, and exactly where that stop is. It's part of a configuration that you can set up. You can modify, you can use what we offer out of the box, but it's really meant to show you how to do it so that you can make this your own. If you trade 500 shares at a limit price, you can set it up like that. You can have both options in there, so you could get very sophisticated. And Dan has it set. I'm sorry, what's that?
No, I was going to say, I was going to just jump right in and show people where that can be done. But notice we have a channel right here because we're all very old, and it's from war games. And that's kind of what trading is. It's a war game. Okay, shall we play a game?
I think they had WordPerfect on the screen then.
They might have had. So I practice using our simulated trading environment every day to hone my skills. This is where you want to make mistakes because this is in simulation mode. People often say that one of the problems with simulation mode is that you can't really transfer the knowledge to the real world. Bullshit. It's only that way if you mess around. And we are, by the way, creating a way where you won't be able to mess around. Okay? So here are my positions that I was trading today. And again, I have a bunch of them that I wasn't in and I, again, closed. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So the zeros are positions that I've closed. You can see that I was working on different things. Here, one didn't go my way and I had a lot of opportunities so I could see like where I made my mistakes. Same thing in Marvel. Let me move that over here because I went in both directions. And notice over here on the right, let me just pull this down so you can see it. Notice these buttons, okay? You can select everything. You can get out of it half of everything. You can remove half. You can double down. You can reverse. You can select the longs. That's all of them. You can select the shorts. I don't have any. But all of this is automated for you. Okay, and let me show you how this works. So I'm going to remove my login so that I'm going to show you guys how to connect to the simulated trading environment. Okay, and here's how it's done. This is so that you guys all know how to do it. This is what the webinar is for. So right now, notice that Brokerage Plus disconnected. I think, Tim, that's probably the reason that you weren't able to see what's going on. Notice there's this red kind of disconnected looking icon. I'm going to go to connect. By the way, I can trade live through Interactive Brokerage and soon other brokerage as well. So this is not only simulation mode, but I'm going to click on Trade Ideas Paper Trading Connect. Once I do that, it connects me to all the positions, our database, starts moving everything, in the right direction, gets the data, tries to figure, again, go back to all the things that I was doing and adjusts everything for where I was. So here it is. And if I go to only open positions, not the closed, I can see what else I have left and what's my P&L in them. Okay. Was Tim's problem solved, Brad, in terms of being able to do it now?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know the problem was that he didn't have Brokerage Plus open.
Ah, okay. Tim, very good. Very good. So once you have this connected, okay, you can do a couple of things. First of all, if you size it the right way, once you go to like another channel, it simply stays behind your screen. So you can go from the AI and you can, during the day, you can see something the AI is in, right click, trade it, and do whatever it is that you want. This is just an example. And again, you can play around with it because it's paper trading mode. So this is so critical to your success. I cannot reiterate this enough. Brad, we've talked about this kind of at length, but I want to make sure just you guys understand. Trade Ideas, we are a subscription-based service business. And at the very, very top end, if you weren't getting any discounts of any kind or any promotion, our software for the premium service costs $2,200 for the year. Okay, so something like $5 a day. Think about being a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, how long it takes to go to school, how much that school costs, and then when you get into the workforce, like for example, when you're a doctor, you have to be a resident for 4 years before they even let you touch anybody. Okay? This is your residency. Your simulated trading environment allows you to engage in the market in such a way as you can really get a feel for what it is that you do and how you react to it. Okay? So here you can see, for example, we not only track stock market data, we track social media. In other words, what are people talking about? Okay, so here you can see people are talking about this stock. Once again, once you see it, you can just have no fear, remove the fear, and instantly notice the stop is placed. You can grab these stops and you can move them lower and you can move them higher. So these are grabbable, and very soon you'll be able to trade with buttons from the chart. You won't even have to right click, okay? But once again, you have this opportunity to test things out and see how your intuition is reacting with the market. And everything you do, once you come back to it, will be in your simulated Brokerage Plus environment. Here, we're in earnings seasons right now, okay? And in earnings season, there's tons of earnings information going on. So upside earnings blowout. These are the guys that have reported earnings and really beat expectations. These are the guys that are reported today after the market. So everything that you need, it's in here, okay? You will never be out of the highlight in terms of what's going on in the marketplace. And the channel bar is just kind of like our Netflix for the market. You know, we are not only doing this in a way that we're showing you different information, but I'm going to kind of show you real quick. Once again, reiterating the fact that here, and this is also another good example. Notice that we show you all of our buy signals. Okay, so here's one. It was great right here, and it was really good. It kind of went from 546 to a high of 873, which is incredible percentages, but then other information came out and it started to decline. This is where risk control comes in. And remember, we talked about placing the stops. This is how you're able to stay in and take advantage of the move, but not just be left out there holding, okay? Here's an example where it started to catch the uptrend, the reversal, twice, did really good, and then up here, it attempted to think that we're going back to these high levels, but then something happened. Once again, the reason that you have stops. And who else? Have you seen, again, another software product where as soon as you get into something, it's automatically helping you with the risk? This is the key. It's not the entry, it's this right here. You have to demand this, and we're the only ones that have it. Now let's add a little Twitter action. I just hearted this stock. What does that mean? Well, our software not only gives you information and not only shows you idea, but it also follows what you do. And if you interact with it like you interact with social media, you can like stocks, and now you have a custom channel of things that you yourself have only liked. So this isn't like someone else's or something that we give you. This is you, like something caught your attention, or in this case, my attention, and I've been making these. This is my I heart stock list, and I can resort it by relative volume or which one of my stuff is doing really good. Here's the stuff that I like that's doing really well. What about the stuff that I like that's not doing very well? So I can look at this and I'm like, okay, well, I'm over this one. Boom, it's going to be gone next time. Come over here, I'm over this one. Again, I'm not going to be bottom fishing this. So you can get to clean things out really easy, and here's the example I set for you. So John, you can of course, so John asked the question about can a stop also lock in profit? Yes, it can. And in the artificial intelligence, in this environment right here, profit save is where you lock in profits. And there's also another one called target hit. And you can see like when there's stops hit and reduce risk when it doesn't feel like it's going your way. Brad, did you want to add something?
Yeah, do this, Dan. Go to your Brokerage Plus. It's peeking out down below there. And on your position tab, just go ahead and right click on any of your positions. So we have what's a target order, right? So you could go ahead and define a target order. So it'll go ahead and once it reaches that particular threshold, it'll get you out. But like Ann was showing you the stops, and you can always move those stops. And after you're profitable in that trade, and you can take an old stop that's well below and move that up to protect yourself.
So here I can add a target order at $7, and here it is. It's my limit out at 7.
Do this, Dan. Do you have any of your positions with stops already on?
Well, I feel like
and if not, you can go ahead and add one. So there's one right there. So go ahead and right-click on that position down on your position grid. Yeah, right there. And go to Modify Stop Order. And this is another kind of interesting way that you can modify it on a percentage basis. So maybe you want to tighten it up, make it 50% tighter. You can do it that way. A lot of different ways to interact with the software. Some people are visual. Some people are more numeric.
I love that. I mean, Brad always reminds me of stuff that I forget. But this is the real cool thing about what you guys are seeing is we are taking trading to the next level. And by trading, I mean investing too. It's not just about day trading, this whole thing. Our objective here was very broad, but we wanted to make the guru obsolete. Everybody is looking for this magic, get in the stock market, learn something, and get rich quick. Well, approach it more like a career, like a doctor or a lawyer, an engineer. You're going to school. We are your tuition, but we're also your professor, your Sherpa, your coach. We've talked about why professional golfers have golf coaches, and these guys who are coaching them, they don't compete in tournament golf, but they can see the technique. And here what we're doing is we're incorporating the proper behavior for you that you will then emulate for yourself. So Marguerite, so there's defaults, but you can go to a tab. Let's see, where are my strategies? Okay, so you can hear all these tabs that I have, and I can edit. It's long, and I can say order details, 100 shares. I can change this to hit OK. Whoops, I should have changed the name. I think I forgot to do that. Edit again. Let's see, order details 300. I'm going to call this 3 and OK. And now when I go to their channel, like Alpha Predator, look at ping, I trade it, buy 300 shares at market with a stop at the bottom. Marguerite, do you understand what we're saying? Is you can change the defaults yourself. We've provided them for you. We've done a lot of the stuff so that you don't have to do anything. But then once you learn some of the basics, and remember, you learn this in simulated trading mode, so you're not risking your account at all. You can modify everything. You can change it to something that appeals more to you. So what is the key component here, again, in terms of getting the most out of this open house, okay, is really turning on your Brokerage Plus and experiencing the trading environment, repetition, reps of trades, reps and reps and reps. So you get your feedback, okay, I've got 62% winners, average winner to loser, but of course I got rid of my losers through stops and just getting out of them, as I've shown you. Shares open, shares closed, how much money I'm using, my exposure, this is how much it's costing me every single trade. So you get all this information from us because we're a server-based technology firm. This is, again, taking our idea generation tech and then applying it to the investing rules of proper stock management, okay? Love going through the channels, regulate these channels all the time. You can see how long the software has been hunting this CLDX. Boom, boom, boom. He had a one sell signal and it caught in, and just what a beautiful example. But here's one where, again, it didn't catch it right, and we show you our losses too. But the whole point is, right, we use stops. We are never sitting in this position because we are exiting, okay? And we're adjusting the strategy as we move. Notice this one thing very important, Brad. And again, there's so much information for the open house to for people to work through. And I'm gonna, for this, I'm gonna remove these. I'm gonna expand. I'm gonna even move this to another screen. I'll just make it easy for you guys. Okay. And let's look at somebody's favorite stock. Everybody likes Apple. Okay, everybody likes Apple. Why am I showing you Apple? Because again, we're not just trade Apple kind of people, but I want to explain something to you that we do so that you understand it. I'm gonna see if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go, right here. Okay. So do you see these dotted lines right here? I'm assuming that's a yes, Brett.
I didn't know you were asking me. I'm sitting here looking at them. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they do.
Okay, so every single stock, we assume at the moment you pull it up, and in this case I'm using Apple, but I'm gonna use another one, Netflix. And again, the reason I'm using these is because you guys are familiar with them. But I'm just gonna bring this out so that you can see it. See, this is where Netflix is right now. Notice there's a line right here called the Smart Stop and a line called the Profit Target. Although the software is not trading this stock, it's assuming you might be getting in right now for any stock at any point in time during the day. This is your hypothetical smart stop based on the volatility. You know, you can automatically do it, and here we set it to the lows of the day because we want to give you more room to work with, okay? But if I want to, I can just simply just bring it right up here to go right for the lows of the range. You see what I did? Just dragged it up a little bit. And there's a profit target that's associated with it as well. So you have both. For any single stock, let's go to Snap, just something different price. Okay, here's your smart stop, and right over here is your profit target at $14.95, a little bit above the range where I have it here. And you can change the time frame. I have a 5-minute, make it a 15. And here's your profit target. If you were getting in right now, this is your stop, this is your profit target. Every single stock has this. Microsoft. Let me zoom in again. And notice you can zoom in, you can do all this stuff. It's super easy. I'm not programming anything. Everything has your game plan. As I've said before, we are the only ones who have embedded a full trading plan, trading system into the software. You can do this for any single stock you like. So every single stock you look at, whether it's your favorites from your portfolio or whatever, if you want to try trading it, and especially in simulation mode, you have a game plan, okay? And we've automatically already created the process where if you right click and you make a trade, and notice here I changed it, 300, it automatically sets the stops for you. It's that simple. This is a must for anybody. This is your ticket to success. The practice of repeating the proper technique and behavior in the stock market. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I think we're caught up.
Okay, fantastic. So let me kind of
So here we got from TI to IB broker. So I think what he's asked something actually trade it.
100%.
And so you can do that with Brokerage Plus. A lot of different ways to use that particular component of our software. But yeah, you can go ahead and create a strategy. You can refine it using the odds maker, the back testing tool, optimize it. And once it's just the way that you want it, you can drop it into Brokerage Plus, configure the set of instructions. So how do you want it to approach it every time there's a signal? Do you want to buy it or do you want to short it? You know, how much do you want to commit to that trade? Number of shares or a dollar value or a dollar risk? Set that up. Once you have that done, yeah, turn it on and let it go, and it'll manage it all for you. You can treat that as a gray box where you let it get into the positions, and from there you manage it, or you can treat it as a full kind of black box system where it'll go ahead and get you out as well based on the instructions that you defined.
So Kelly, you can set this up to ignore, so you can create and filter it any way you want. You can take any one of the windows from any channel, copy it over and change it to your own layout. You can add things, you can create your own channel, edit channels, add channel, you can make your own. So it's like you can be your own producer, and everything, Kelly, the gentleman above you, in terms of video. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our strongest key points of our business is our education. Okay, we have a YouTube channel that has every single component of Trade Ideas pre-set up to help you do it, from getting started with opening the layouts to filters to everything. Everything is available on YouTube. Almost too much information. I shouldn't say that, but again, we do everything. Trenton, we are working very closely to start adding new brokers, and they will be added probably something within the first quarter. So look for some of the big brokers and some other ones to make, and again, looking for a zero brokerage opportunity for you so you can trade for free. But you can, let me just show you something real quick, because we were talking about, Kelly was saying, how do I want to, set something up? Remember, all of these channels, you can work with them. So you can go to any window, and here I am, right click, configure, and you go to the filters, price, $5, maximum price of $20. I'm just giving you an example. And now, here you go. Now it's only going to show you between 5 and 20. You can go to history, look at today. So notice you don't have to have real time. There's historical mode. You can do this in after hours. And here's one of the beautiful things. And again, there's just so much information. Jack, it's only overwhelming because it's very powerful, but it really isn't, because remember, you can be idea surfing and the channels are your pre-configured views. So everything is done for you. And with simulation mode, you can practice the right way. And that's really what we're talking about. Do you want to succeed in the market? It's not supposed to be super easy. It's kind of like this, getting rid of that myth. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, okay? The market has challenges because it's emotional. And most people don't know how to react to this thing properly because they don't practice the right way. Whereas we, through our simulated environment, help you through this practice properly based system. See, you're surfing right now. There's nothing to configure. And again, all the information that you have is online. In other words, you can go to YouTube and you can say, well, how did he do this? How did he do that? There's videos on literally everything. So check this out. So I like this stock, right? And I think I'd like it a lot more when it crossed a certain price point, like 27. Boom. Now I just created my own alert. So not only is it you're seeing this information, but you can right click and you can set everything up. You can see your own alerts. You can move them up and down, just like stop losses, kind of the same technology. And very soon, these alerts will also be able to be translated into simulated trade orders. So these are kind of like your orders in waiting, okay? John, we are going to have a replay of this webinar. Scott will create a link for people, and you'll be able to check it out, and yeah, you'll get it via email. So it is the ultimate driving machine, ladies and gentlemen. It's your Porsche, your Ferrari. You can do all the things that you want to do, and now fully enabled with simulated trading, okay? That's the key. This is the reason why you're at the open house. Simulation trading in our environment teaches you the proper behavior and the proper way for you to navigate the market. Okay, this is your cadaver, this is your residency, this is your apprenticeship. All of these things are the things you need to succeed. Matthew, for help with paper trading, again, all of that should be available through info@trade-ideas, and we have over 1,000 people in this webinar. I mean, not this particular, in this open house, and so lots of people are asking questions, and we're doing it. To connect, it's right here. So at the very top, notice I'm on this channel called Brokerage Plus. You can go there, all of this information is there, connect to paper trading, and you're ready to go. And this will stay up and connected while you move through other channels. Things that are popping up. Chase, you can right now link it to interactive brokerage. Explosive winners. Again, we also kind of make it easy for you so that all the big stuff is there. You know, whether you want to look at explosive winners or stocks surging where all of a sudden it's happening now, or again, taking on water, things that are falling, things sinking rather. Alfred, right now we work with IB only because again, this whole IB was the cheapest option before everybody went to zero trading, but we are in the middle of adding a vast array of new execution capabilities this first quarter of the year. We're working on it right now so that people can have more options. It is the next level. I mean, one of the things we really urge you to do is just kind of glance at it, let it idea surf for you, and notice that you're just not going to find this information anywhere else. You're not going to get to be able to do the visual reps the way I'm doing right now, where I'm not doing anything, and it's just bringing stuff up, and I can then, oh, I like Jaguar. Look at that move. First of all, great call on November 11th from the swing trade perspective. Okay, and here it goes. Okay. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to the market coming alive. You know, this isn't your Bloomberg where it's all like black and yellow and kind of yucky looking. This is the market in its full visual, moving, you know, surging sort of way. And there's lots of different things that you can see. Notice up top, whoops, you get to see what the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and the S&P are doing. So the toolbar is kind of always giving you the feedback. Your channel bar is the Netflix for the market. And of course, I don't want to leave without saying that our good buddy Barry Anderson, who runs our trading room, I don't know what I just did, Brad.
Are you ending the webinar?
No, I accidentally turned off the software. That happens, you know, come on guys, I'm human. So I'm
now it shows how quick it is to bring it back up, right?
Oh yeah, there it is, bring it back up. Notice again, when I bring it up, paper trading mode, your simulated trading mode is not connected, so you want to go to connect to paper trading, and then it comes back to life. You can stay here in the background, and I will go to Barry's windows. Barry runs our trading room, which is available every day from the open pretty much to the close, and he has his own curated power window list of things that, again, Barry is doing, and he's kind of doing your Madden for the market all throughout the day. So I really recommend you guys taking a look at his trading room. It's moderated, has a great meritocracy of people. But we kind of just, in summary, what I want to say is we've taken this whole trading / investing to the next level. We are the Netflix / smart viewing of the market. Anything you want is in here. And remember, if you have some trading experience, you can look at something like this, but you sort of have to know what you're doing. And you can customize it and create your own channels. And there's videos on how to do that as well. So let me, are there any questions before I go on?
Yeah, so I think Tim just dropped one in there. I don't think there's an ETF channel on the web, and one of the reasons why might be, are there a ton of windows on that one?
Yeah.
Well,
but you
let me do this, Tim. I'll shoot you the cloud link so that you can drop it into the web. And I'll look at adding that to the website.
So we have a cloud, so all of your things can be saved to the cloud. Again, very powerful tech. It just takes a little bit of time to navigate and learn how to use it. But to that end, and let me switch back to the presentation that I made. We have a full educational curriculum all throughout the week. All throughout the week, there are classes by our expert educators and people that know how to work with trade ideas that help you through all these different aspects. And of course, again, we have these test drives, especially when we have such an incredible product pipeline right now, guys. From automating to the AI, and you can practice all this in simulated trading. You can simulate trade the AI, see what that would feel like with your settings. The test drive includes the simulator, absolutely. Yes. And again, let me just minimize that. The simulator is on this channel called Shall We Play a Game? And this is it right here. And you can trade any stock. It has some windows, but you can also, of course, go to any channel at any point in time. Depending on what you want to do. You want to go to the China channel, see the Chinese stocks, look them up, right click, and make a trade. This is what it's about. Practice, practice, practice. Okay? So just to get you an idea, first of all, again, one of the biggest mistakes everybody makes in the stock market is they instantly start trading with real money and they don't know how to manage their emotions or risk, so they get destroyed. Don't be these people. Practice. You should not be afraid to practice for a year. That's nothing in terms of the longer term perspective of learning a skill set that can feed you for your lifetime. Okay? This is how much our software costs in terms of on a per day, okay, in terms of premium and standard. And you can, of course, pay monthly or yearly. And if you're upgrading from standard to premium, we have a promo code called Harvest Wins, 15% off your first month of the year of Trade Ideas. Rather, 15% off your first month or 15% off the year. The year is our most popular product because you get the big discount, and of course, then you get the software for the year, and you know you're committing to it, which is what you need to do if you want to make more money than a doctor. Brad, don't you want to make more money than a doctor?
Mm-hmm.
So here's Barry's trading room, and I've talked to Barry, and I've said, Barry, man, you got a lot of windows in your trading room. And Barry says, Dan, be quiet. It's my trading room. But no, Barry's has a fantastic room, shows you just so many different ways that you can set up the system. This is yet another iteration of how configurable it is, And so this is like Barry's quote unquote channel. We really encourage you to take a look and listen and hear how people are interacting with the software. We do a podcast on Fridays where we talk about all the latest developments and try to kind of give a more humorous, non-executive way to describe what's going on. Lots of information to help you get started on different things, setting things up, swing trading or active trading, or all the different concepts that we show you in the software. We have educational materials about it. Everything that you saw me do is in video form, everything, okay? And of course, again, you can go to trade-ideas.com/setup and see these pre-educational materials to help you get started. We're very active on social media. We are in the middle of this 10-day test drive open house. It's an amazing time for you to check everything out and really just dive in without fear. Remember, trade ideas are one thing, execution is the other, and now you have both, okay? It's beyond just the ideas. You are now in a fully immersed, proper technique trading environment with automatic stops, profit targets, all these things that are done for you. You really have come to the right place, and we appreciate you taking your time and checking us out. Please like us on Facebook, and of course, if you need anything, shoot us an email to info@trade-ideas.com, and our support staff will be more than happy to help you get going. I think that's it for today. Brad, do you have anything else? Brad, do you have any questions? Anyone else?
I don't. If you could have just kept talking for like 5 more minutes, I would have had that ETF channel in. So go ahead, Tim. It'll be there shortly. I think we're caught up on the questions. Good presentation.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. You're going to get an email about this, Scott. Go ahead and take over. Marguerite, appreciate that. Scott, is your audio on? Okay, well,
we can end it.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So everyone, you will get an email link with this, with the recorded version of this Q&A webinar. And once again, if you have any questions about anything, please do not hesitate to ask us. And we hope you continue through participating in our open house. Thank you very much. See you soon.